Hello, welcome to the Boot Room. My name's Kris and this is a tactical look at this week's coming game, Everton against Liverpool, how both teams will approach the game, if Uncle Rafa's got a secret or two up his sleeve, and a look about how Liverpool can expect Everton to approach things and where, for example, they will see the weaknesses and the strengths of Everton. Let's have a look now. So let's get straight into it and try and understand how Everton are playing. It's something I'm really interested in. It's bloody curious to say the least. So Everton look like they're playing with a traditional 4-2-3-1. Digne and Coleman providing the width. That's how it seems, but that's actually not true. Rafa's gone for a really interesting approach this season, and I think with the right players it really could be successful. However, the players are often the issue. What he's doing is he's instructing the wingers to stay as high and wide as possible to create the space. So Gordon, for example, who was playing last game, and on the wing, I believe it was Townsend. And what this is doing is this is saying to Coleman and Digne to attack these half spaces. Now these half spaces are often talked about in places like The Athletic or places like this where, you know, it's very tactically minded. But basically, to put it in a nutshell, the reason these half spaces are so valuable is because of the passing angles it gives the players. That's it. It gives the players the ability to pass in angles in between the fullback and the centre back, for example, or for example to the back post, in a more accurate way with more speed, and it basically means a higher probability of a successful outcome from a pass. So without going too technical, what it basically means is that you have Coleman very high up the pitch at times, and the expectation is the Decore or Allen fill in. That inverted fullback style was used by Moyes at Everton, and it actually works really well if you've got good fullbacks such as Baines who can deliver that final ball. Not sure Coleman's quite on that wavelength at the moment in his career. Digne, yes, but in his last game against Brentford, he looked very rough to that role. It didn't look like it suited him. He more wanted to be on the wing here and firing balls in here than being in this inside channel. It does mean that combinations with the front three are more frequent. And for example, if Digne is attacking, of course, Coleman stays a bit further back and then Townsend can come in like this. It's really, really intelligent, to be honest. And in the last game against Brentford, they probably should have won. Getting to the heart of the matter, how are these two teams going to tactically interact? Rafa needs to win. His job looks like it's on the line, which is a shame considering he's been given £3 and an unsightly player this year. He doesn't trust Gomez. He definitely doesn't trust Sigurdsson, rightly so. So we're going to look about how these things interact, and we're also going to look about what we can expect from Everton. Here in this slide, you can see that Decore and Allen are majorly out of position, and this was a trait. They look tired, this team. They really do. They don't look like they have the bench. It doesn't look like Rafa has much confidence in the bench, and I can't blame him. They have quality in patches, but they really don't have it to play against Liverpool. Calvert-Lewin has been out for a while now, and Rondon's going to play this game quite obviously. So let's have a look about how they will interact. You can see here, Liverpool will end up with the majority of the ball. Rafa will probably end up playing a 4-5-1 just to protect the defence more than anything. I really doubt you'll end up with this situation with Coleman overlapping, but as we can see in this second slide here, if it does happen, he really doesn't have the capabilities to get back. And with that in mind, if it happens once, there's going to be a clear-cut opportunity. If they're going to play in a low block, watch out for Henderson coming up, filling in this half space here. Matty, who's in the 97th percentile, I believe, for his dribbling, just to try and attract players with the ball. Because as soon as they attract a player like this, It's one ball round the corner and then they're in. So Matip's dribbling is going to be very important, and then at the same time Robertson's going to keep the width on this side. Him or Tsimikas, of course. Van Dijk is going to play his usual sweeper libero role and basically be passing for fun, as you can see. And Liverpool are going to dominate the game without a shadow of a doubt in my mind, unless the Everton pop up with 2 early corners, for example, 2 early goals from corners. Really keep an eye on this control here, because if Everton don't manage to stop that, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when, because two of these players in Thiago and in Van Dijk can pick passes for fun in between the lines, out wide, and then all you need from there is Trent to come inside, Salah to run the line, and Hendo's got a world full of options. And Digne, who's a good player, doesn't know what's hitting, quite frankly. I do think in this game it's a matter of if rather than when. I predict a high score, to be honest, maybe 3. Maybe a red card as well on Everton's part, because I think they'll get frustrated and I think the fans will get frustrated. However, like I said, if they sack Rafa, they'd be stupid, in my opinion, of course. So yeah, high score.